Guys, I am back with a brand new drawing tutorial. Now, I'm going to get straight to the point. This is created for Ryan Reynolds. So, if you're watching this, like the millions of people who do, comment down below Ryan Reynolds and subscribe. This is being drawn for you. And also share it on your Twitter for me, and put it on your Instagram story, possibly put it on your Facebook page as well. But guys, make sure you go and watch Pikachu, Detective Pikachu. I'm watching it tomorrow. So in celebration, I thought I would show you how to draw Pikachu, but it's Detective Pikachu, but it's played by Ryan Reynolds. So here we go. So from the get-go, I want to make this a bit more of a tutorial, because you guys know how good I can draw from watching my Sonic video. So you start off, go onto File, New, and I've got one for drawing, one which is specially made for drawing, but you guys can find this in the tab here. You go on Arts and Illustration, and I normally just do a 1080p one. Standard, there's no need to do it in 4K, standard 1080p is good enough. Now we go Create, and it creates, there we go. And obviously, if I do get a slight bit of lag, it's because I'm recording in a very high quality at the same time as drawing. I do have a pen and a tablet, but you can use the mouse. It doesn't really matter. Now, what is also important that you get something up for reference. So I'm going to load up a picture of Detective Pikachu. Right? So all of you need reference, because even if you think you know what he looks like, majority of the time you will not. So I'm going to use this picture here as reference, right? That one there. So you see this bad boy here, that is going to be the reference I'm going to use. So I'm going to save that off. And it's important that you create a folder where you can save everything, so nothing will ever go wrong. I'm going to do that now. I can't remember if I've created a folder called Drawings here. And then you can just save them all straight in. And the reason I use Google Drive is because everything will back up to the cloud straight away, so you'll never lose a masterpiece. So I'm going to put the reference in. I'm going to open that up, so I've got it on my other screen. But what also I didn't do with Sonic is I didn't embed, just put the reference down like that. So we can maybe use it to trace around. Or, nah, maybe not. We don't want to cheat. But I'm going to leave the reference in the scene, because I feel like that's going to be the most important thing that we can do. So, when you're ready, when you're comfortable, we can get on with the drawing. So, Pikachu is various shades of yellow. So, one of the most important things you can do is actually create a colour palette from the start. So, let's go up here. So, now you know that you'll always be using the same colours. So, this one here, I'm going to do as a default yellow. That's still probably a little bit too bright, so I will bring that down just a little bit, like that. And then we'll swap that yellow, and then we will have that one. Oh no, that's too dark. Just a little bit darker like that. And then we need the red for his cheeks, but that's like a rosy red. So we'd go down like that, and then we'd bring that up like that. So we've got a few colours here ready. And then we'd obviously need the black and brown, but this is a good start off. And what I'm going to do, holding Alt, you can click and drag. What I'm going to do is make one here for the white colour. So I'm going to swap this one, but I'm going to make this one a lot brighter like that. So it's like almost a bright yellow, and I'm going to save it. And once again, guys, I'm going to save this straight away as Ryan Reynolds Love Me, like that. So now we've got the backup, and we're just going to save it off. Mountain Dew. Cool. Now we can start the drawing. So you click the brush, and then you're good. So the main keys, which I would let you guys know, is the open brackets and closed brackets, because this allows you to make the pen bigger and smaller. I haven't set up my graphics tablet yet to be able to even bother doing anything. So the shortcuts haven't been set yet. But I'm going to look at his position here. So he's almost like a square. So I want to use the darkest colour first. I think B's brush. Yeah. We Why didn't... Oh, so yeah, the stroke has to be changed, so you can click and drag it over. Now, I do tend to use layers, so I'm going to make a layer here. I'm going to lock... Go away. I'm going to lock that layer there, so none of my stuff can be touched or edited. And this is going to be for the outline of the body. So we're going to want to start off by coming in and drawing his head. Oh, never mind that. So, nah, I'm not happy with that. So a bit like that, and then his ears. Remember guys, it can come off the scene. Like, it doesn't matter if it does, if it's, nah, that's not right. It's got to come off just the top of his head. Like that. Then what you can do, just to make sure that you keep the same, because obviously his ears are going to be the same, is click what you've drawn, Alt drag, right click, transform, reflect, boom, put that on the other side of his head. Now you know you've got his ears the exact same, but I wouldn't say to do that for the brown bits at the top, because they are slightly different. Now I haven't actually created a colour for that, but I'm going to leave it for now. And what I want to do actually is stretch his head out a little bit, like that. So you can edit points in the drawings that you're not happy about, guys. So this gets into a bit of detail, but I'm a bit more happy with that, but I don't like how this comes in. So what I'm going to do is actually delete that point. Right, I did not mean to do that. Oh god, I clearly don't know what I'm doing. Well, I mean, in all the other illustrators, there was just a button which allowed you to delete points, which clearly isn't in this one. It will be somewhere where I have no idea where. But anyway, let's not dwell on that for now. I'm not happy with the way that looks. Now, I've mucked it up a bit, haven't I? So that's rounded it off a little bit more. Now we're going to come in and draw his body. And I'm going to do this all on the same layer. So the back layer will all be the same. Make sure you save it. Now I'm going to come in and do the rest of the layers. So his arms come basically straight off his head. Nah, that's too much of a curve. Nah, that's not good. See, you need to keep going to get it perfect, because it can become a little bit of a struggle. But, so you can, it's not, you can trace, guys, so. There, so I've done a little bit of a trace there, and that you can come in with this pen like I showed you guys earlier. Just make some adjustments. You've got to remember when you make these adjustments that you take the anchors and make sure it stays curved, because if you break that, it will not look as hand-drawn. This isn't exactly a cheat. But what it does allow you to do is do, you know, pretty decent edits. And then you can hold shift and alt at the same time. And then scale it up for his body. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, no, I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Now a little bit smaller like that, right? I'll bring it down. I'm going to get the pen. And now I'm looking at my reference up on the other screen. You need to remember that that is the important thing. And his feet, I'm going to ignore his feet for now. So what I'm going to do to start off with, I'm going to colour his whole body in. But to be lazy, why is there no fill? Why is everything more difficult on this illustrator? So this is where you get your missing tools. Guys, the majority of this stuff I make up as I go along, don't tell anyone. So in here somewhere there should just be a fill tool, but there doesn't seem to be. Oh god, what have I done? Why is there not a fill tool in there? Well, that didn't do anything. Ah, there we go. So if you set it to Essentials Classic, you get all of the tools in. But I mean, we're still having an issue because there still isn't a fill tool. Alright, anyway, for the sake of this, I'm just going to colour it in, as this is drawing. Let's have no cheating, guys. Let's colour this bad boy in. So we can make the pen a bit bigger. It is very satisfying, to be fair. Like that. And what we do want to do, we will eventually come in with some layers. And what I should advise you guys to do is actually draw half and then reflect it, because if you do that, it will look more real almost. So we can do that. Yeah. Oh my god, that's actually beautiful. This is one of the most beautiful drawings I've done to date, I think, guys. There we go. So now I'm going to colour his face in as well. I'm going to colour everything in. Because that's where the importance lies. Like that. So that actually brings up a good reason why I tell you guys to save all the time, because it nearly actually crashed then. There we go. So that's all coloured in now. So we've got the base of Pikachu, because there isn't much point. I'm just going to save it as a copy, because sometimes when you store it in the cloud, it jigs the files. But now we've got the body for Pikachu, right? So you can see that's all the lines, and I want to bring the layers back up. So I want to dock the layers back into here. There, so we've got the layers up at all times. Now I'm going to lock that layer and create another one. I'm going to work on his head in this layer, because this is like the important one. And we'll set the red so we get his cheeks. I'm going to keep drawing it because I said no cheating on this, so I'm not going to use a circle tool. Now both of his cheeks, the red hasn't gone to both, so you can press that to swap it around. Both of his cheeks. So you can adjust the size. So when you draw his cheeks, which are actually, you want to put some angles on it like that, so it looks like it goes round the side of his face. Sounds a little bit too big. There, right now a touch bigger. So there we go. And now we want to get like his, so you can swap from the photo, so I can swap the black there. Then spin that round, hit the brush again, and then we can do the his eyes. So we can draw the whole of his eyes like that. His eyes are quite big, to be fair, so I am going to make them a little bit bigger. So like that, because that looks pretty accurate. Now I'm going to come in and do his nose. Like that, and now he needs his little mouth. That needs to be even thinner, his mouth. Like that. No, I'm not happy with that. Yeah, that's a bit better. And now we're going to get like the outside of his eyes are just a little bit brown. So then we'll just tag the outside of his eyes like that. And what we will do for this is a little bit of a trick here, right? We'll take that, we'll use the whole object select tool, and we'll drag it out, and then we'll swap that to the browny colour, which is yeah, let's go with that. And then bring that over here like that. Then we'll just extend that out a bit. And we'll send that back one. So arrange, send backwards. And then we'll make it a bit bigger. Then we can shrink. Oh no. So you want to select the inside eye and shrink that down a little bit like that. We can copy that for there. So what I should do actually, now I've done that, is grab both of these eyes like that, copy it over with shift held, and then you can transform and reflect it. Like that. So I mean, that is pretty decent, to be fair. And now we might as well do the top of his ears with that same sort of, you know, that sort of browny purple colour. And for these, I'm just going to go back to actually just sketching them. So you can see that it kind of goes along the ear like that. Yeah, like that, that's pretty good. And then this one won't be as much because you're seeing a different perspective of his ear. So this one will be about this much. Like that. So far that's pretty accurate, guys. Right, so save that in. Oh, it's not letting me save it. Cool. So now let's focus on a little bit of shading on his head, because you need to define where his neck is. So that's going to be the darker colour, but I think I might make that even darker. So if you go on to, there's a tab in here. Colour guide, that's the one. So I'm going to lock that in here underneath. And basically this gives you different shades of the same colour. So there I can go for a nice dark one. And we'll put the dark one, we'll put the dark one under his neck, just to bring his neck out a little bit. No, apparently that isn't any darker. That's too dark. That's the same colour. Well, so that actually hasn't helped, so I'm going to go in manually. Just darken it up a little bit like that. And now we can put that around the middle of his neck. Because that bit's going to be darker. And it would kind of shrink off like that. Shrink off like that, and then we'd have a little bit. No, that's too much. We'd have a little bit under his arm. And then kind of go down like that. And then this one would be a little bit more due to the angle, but it'd be a little bit less on his arm. And what you can do with this, guys, is once you've got the initial drawings down, you can select parts and change the colour. So if I don't like this colour towards the end, I'll swap it off. There we go. Then he has little bits for his, just to signal that his hands are sort of folded over there. And he has the same for this side here. So as I said guys, it's all about shading. And then here as well. So this one's going to be a little bit difficult because the shading is going to be so slightly different. So I mean like minuscule different here. Because it's... So I might get him with the mouse a little bit. So that's going to make it lighter, which is nice. So if I look at my example, it'll be a lot lighter around this side of his head here. So a bit like that. And then under here as well. Basically the whole of his chin would be a little bit lighter. Now what I'm probably going to do is towards the end of it you'll see some different techniques and tricks I'm going to do, but I want to do this with all of this lighter colour which I'm adding in here, because his ear is going to have quite a bit of it stenciled in. But once again, we don't want to do too much, but his ear is going to be closer to the light, so the majority of his ear is going to be brighter, guys. So maybe something like that. Then we curve that bit off. So I'd say something like that. Then his other ear, because it's going to be flipped back, is going to have the same effect. So we're going to want to come straight in. Guys, everybody make sure you tweet this to Ryan Reynolds, because it is of utmost importance that he sees this. Because I want him to try and follow this tutorial and get an understanding of how to do this. Like that. And that is going to add some decent effect, which you'll see eventually. You'll see eventually what I'm trying to do here. And we need a little bit more of the, need a little bit more of it coming along here, along here. Then a little bit more like around here, like that. And then his entire, like the inside of his body is all going to be the bright colour as well. Especially the majority of the inside of his hands, guys, they're all going to be... Yeah, they're all going to be brighter. Like that. Okay, so I've gone a little bit too far there, but that is all going to come out of his body like this. Like this. Lovely. So now we have a Pikachu. Now what I need to do with this, all this colour here, so I'm going to save it off here, right? It actually worked there. Surprisingly, the save actually worked. So now I'm going to go Object, Select, Same, Fill Colour. Now, it's not done what I want to do. select same fill color. Why is that selecting nearly everything? Okay, what I should have done is layered this, because this is going to be a pain now. But you can see, so what we want to do is split this. So I'm going to add a new layer. New layer. And I'm basically going to take bits apart. So I'm going to take the red and all the easy bits you can see here. Then you click that tab and you drag it over. I'm going to take these bits here as well. Click that tab, drag it over, get rid of that. That didn't all go. Click that tab, drag it over. Then I'm going to get these darker bits here. Add a new layer, okay, and drag that into a new layer again. Get rid of that. Grab these darker bits as well. Drag that into the darker layer. Now, and that bit there can just be deleted. Now all of this here needs to go and be, basically needs to turn into a white colour. So I'm just going to clean it up there. That needs to just go into that. Unlock that layer, move that into there, lock it back. Is now I can bring this up, click this layer, I can bring everything back in basically now, and lock every layer but the one I want to edit. So now I can select all of this, which is important, and I can make this okay, no, it's not what I do. I can make that the bright yellowy colour I need to do for the shading, but what I need to really do is then up the transparency of this. So transparency needs to go down. I haven't got anything selected. The transparency of this needs to go down, right? Like that. Then we're going to select, I'm going to lock that one and bring up this layer. I'm going to select all of it. Now this needs to just be a darker yellow. So like that, and I'm going to make the transparency of this pop in a little bit as well. So it's a bit like that. Yeah, right, that's popping. That adds a bit of shading onto him. Now I'm going to knock him in, and I need to do his little feet now. So his feet are going to be added to the bottom layer, because what they're going to be added to a new layer so they can go behind. Because if I add it to a new layer, that is going to drop behind the bottom layer. So now whatever I draw is going to be behind here, and it needs to be a yellow but a lot darker, like this. Transparency needs to go back to being 100, and it needs to be a lot darker, which it is. So I'm going to go very thin quickly. I've gone too far. Like that, I'm going to make the... No, don't do that. I'm going to make the brush a bit small. Make the brush a bit smaller. Then make it a bit bigger. Actually, what I'm gonna do is do that onto a do that onto the left to an angle a little bit. So I'm gonna rub that one out like that. I'm gonna grab the same colour. I'm just gonna Then I'm going to get a black, and very finely just add some almost like feet mark in. Nah, I'm not gonna do it for the hand. I like the hand as it is. Now I'm gonna save all that off, and we're gonna do a layer for the hat. Right? I don't know why I named that hat. It's because I said the name hat. I'm going to go onto here. I'm going to add a new layer on the top. Okay, that. Now the hat is a grey colour. I want to do this in basically one swoop. The hat, just to sit on the middle, because the hat will bring him out. So that's too big. So if we go like that, that's a very good start for the hat. And then I'm going to line up just a titch like this to do the front, and it's got to come out relatively straight. Like this. And then I'm going to add some slightly darker marks just to the hat. You know, where the seams would be like that. Be a little bit on top. There's been ever so slight seam along there as well. Yeah, so like that. And that adds the hat. So you can see here that it's come out relatively well. And of course we need to add the tail. And I was saving this for last for a reason. So let's swap the main colour, go down to the bottom layer, and then just coming off the back, we're going to get the brush and we're going to draw quite big. Now that ain't right, because we need to, it basically will come off his head. So like that. I don't know if I like the idea of drawing his tail on this drawing, guys. So we do something like that, maybe. Now I like it like that. So guys, there is my Detective Pikachu for you. Now I can. So now what I want to do actually is kind of unlock all these layers, and then if I duplicate everything, duplicate sections, select all the copies, and then flatten them. Oh, it's okay. I did it with everything. Can you flatten selected? Right, now it's collected everything in a layer, so I'm going to get rid of all the old ones. Now this is one layer, guys. When I select everything, we've got Pikachu here, and because this is the correct frame for the thumbnail, guys, what we can do to end the video, I can show you how to make a thumbnail as well. So this is basically a big guide. So I don't know why it's not letting me scale him. Chain it together. Yeah, like that. And then you can scale him down a bit. Like that. I'm gonna save this, but I'm gonna save this as thumbnail. File, save as AI thumbnail, like that. I'm going to OK that off. Now, what a lot of people do on the thumbnail. So, I actually have reference for a thumbnail from the thumbnail I did for my last video. So, I'm going to go into there. I'm going to Giraffeyjosh. I'm going to go into thumbnails. I'm going to find Sonic drawing. And I have files in here which I want to use. So, I'm going to open it. Don't ask why that's called Fortnite. I'm going to open this up here. And there's things I can steal off of here and import straight into Illustrator. So, obviously everything works in unison, guys. But the reason this is good is because these does it not work that way? I've got it copied. I don't think you can oh, you can't. I wonder if you can open a convert layers to object. Yeah, let's do that. So what that's going to do is convert it all, and now I can pick this stuff apart. So I can take that off, I can bring that in here, and then I can scale this to whatever size I need to, which I'm pretty sure it's not giving me the right tools for scaling here, because it should. So I might go to automation. Yeah, that'll work. So then I can scale this stuff up, because this is a vector as well. So everything outside the artboard, guys, will not be shown. I don't want that to be that large, so I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to move that up. I'm going to grab Pikachu. And I'm going to group him. Control G. And then I'm going to put that there like that. I'm just going to make him a little bit longer on the side like that. And now it looks like, you know, that's going on and drawing him, which is quite important, like that. So that's pretty good. I'm going to save that off. Just ignore it for now. And in here, obviously that has converted the text, which is good. Learn to draw. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to paste that in as well. And that will have converted that to a vector, so I can make it whatever size I need to without losing any quality, which is important. So I can do that like that. Drag that out. Move that over there. And now I want to get a vector of Ryan Reynolds. So I've got this site here called PNG Fly. And they do really good ones. If I search Ryan Reynolds in here, surely, if I spelled his name wrong, I don't think I did. Right, so I can grab grab one of Ryan Reynolds there. And that will save that in without a background. So that's important, because when that eventually downloads, that will come in as a PNG, guys. And I am going to be naughty and go against what I said, but you want to make sure you put everything in the no, I am going to put it in the right folder, because that would be a bad tutorial, wouldn't it? So now if I go into drawing Sonic, no, not Sonic, Pikachu, I can drag the thumbnail into there, and I can drag it into here. We've got an image of Ryan Reynolds here, and as you scale, hold shift. Then I'm going to rotate that the other way, reflect it, make it a bit bigger. I'm going to send that to the back, like that. And I might put a little bit of curve onto it. No, I'm not. I don't like that. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller like that. And I want to keep the background white for a reason, because it looks like it's an artboard. And I think this is going to do, because on the last thumbnail I had how to draw Sonic, and I don't think that popped as much. So what I also want to do is grab that Detective Pikachu I had, which they right, so we'll find out quick. So once again, guys, I'm using the PNG site. So I'm going to search. If not, if you search that, quite a lot of the time you'll get what you need. Because that isn't doing anything. Let me try and go home. Pikachu. No, I was hoping it would just give me a detective one. There, I'll just steal that one for now. That one's good. And I'll use the whole photo just to be a little bit lazy. But I'm going to put it like on his shirt. So go like that. Embed. Now I'm going to I don't think you can do it on this one when you use a direct select tool. No, you can't because it's an image. But I'm going to put that there so it looks like it's on his t-shirt. Now scrap that. I'm going to put it up there. And what? No, I'm not going to be lazy on this one, guys. I am going to go into Photoshop quickly. Open that up in a new tab. And grab it. I'm going to use this one instead, actually. So this is going to be a very quick workaround. Because I'm not going to show all of him anyway. Like that. Knock off a bit of that up there. It's a shame that that's so close to being the same colour. There, copy. Get rid of that. We've lost the background. File. Export as PNG. Boom that into there. Replace the one in there. Yep. And now that one's being resaved. So I can, yep. Now what that should have done is changed the one I already had locked. But I am going to bring in another one. So I was going to bring it in again. I'm going to embed it. I'm going to make it smaller. If you embed it, it increases the file size. But it basically will allow you to be able to control 2 locks. It basically allows you to be able to like that. There we go. So that's the thumbnail, guys, created. So I am going to round the video up there. If you have enjoyed the video, guys, make sure you share it with Ryan Reynolds. Send me go onto my Discord, link in description, and send me your drawings of Pikachu. Let me know what you did, guys. Let me know what you think. This is the most serious tutorial you ever watch in your life. Make sure you follow along. And to finally export, you go File, Export, Export for Web, and it will do a special low-sized one. What we do want to do is not have it transparent, so we want white in the background. And then we'll save it off 1080p, save, and that will shoot it into, should do the same folder, thumbnail Pika, like that. Save, and that will just lob it out as a PNG. Thank you all for watching, guys. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, comment down below, and I'll see you on the next one.